What's up everybody, it's Sean here, and I'm here today to give you guys a review of the Unheardof collaboration with Adidas on the Rivalry Low, Erika's Poem. So this right here is a very special collaboration between Cincinnati's skateboard and sneaker shop Unheardof with Adidas. This pair released on June 10th for a price of $165 US, which translates to approximately 225 Canadian dollars. The official colorway for this shoe is vivid red, bluebird, and white, and this sneaker was limited only to 1,100 pairs. So I'll show you later on in this review, but 500 pairs were released exclusively in person in Cincinnati, and those came with an orange box. And then another 500 were released exclusively online, which came in a blue box. And then there was 100 pairs that were limited only to friends and family, which came in a red box. So part of the reason why this shoe is so special and why it's so powerful is because it actually pays homage to the owner of Unheardof, and more specifically his late sister, who passed away from suicide back in 2005. So Phil Lipschitz, who is the owner of Unheardof, based on what I've read online and based on what he's posted on Instagram, he really poured his heart and soul into this special release. And it shows throughout all the different details, which I'll highlight throughout this review. So first things first, here's a quick look at the box. So I got the orange box, which were originally limited to be purchased in person, but then Unheardof put up some leftover pairs online and I was able to grab a pair for myself. So the look of this box is actually inspired by the look of a box for a cassette tape. So on the front you can see we have Unheardof branding, as well as on the side of the box here too. And then as I swing it open, you can see we have this custom artwork which differs between the three boxes. And printed on this inside lid we have Erika's poem, which was actually found in one of her notebooks after her passing. And the crew at Unheardof didn't cheap out whatsoever with extras. So inside the box, first of all, it comes with a paper copy of Erika's poem. And aside from that, it comes with a sticker, a pen, 2 lace locks, and 2 keychains as well. And if you're wondering why you keep seeing flies associated with this collaboration, well, this actually pays homage to No Doubt and their album Tragic Kingdom, which is an album that Erika loved and something that she would play while watching Phil and his friends skateboard. So diving into the details of this shoe, so first off, the Adidas Rivalry, for those who aren't familiar with it, is a basketball sneaker that released back in 1986. But recently, Adidas has really tried to push the silhouette similar to the Adidas Forum, releasing it now as much more of a lifestyle and casual use shoe. So as we take a deep dive into the details, starting things off with the toe box, you'll see the base layer of the shoe is constructed out of this bluebird or light blue colored leather, and they actually printed Erika's poem onto this leather, and despite some pushback from the factory, they were able to trace Erika's writing, so this I thought was very, very powerful. Right above this, on this U-throw area of the shoe, we have a very soft off-white or sail colored leather, and then surrounding the front toe cap, we have this shaggy long-haired suede, which is done in this bold red color. This same red suede covers the eyelets of the shoe, and you'll see that the 5 eyelets are actually reinforced with this metallic gold finish. And then we also have one extra eyelet at the very top, which is constructed out of TPU in this orangey yellow color. Beneath this, on the mid panel on the lateral side, we have the Adidas 3 stripes, which is once again done in that same red suede. And then underneath this, we have more of that blue colored leather, once again with Erika's poem printed all across. And when you compare this to the medial side, so Unheardof was actually able to remove the Adidas stripes on this side, despite some pushback. So you can see Erika's poem printed all across here much more clearly. Moving downwards, we have another hit of red colored suede, and this wraps around the bottom heel of the shoe. And embroidered on the lateral side, we have 2 flies. On the top of the heel, we have this very soft orange colored leather, and stitched in the middle, we have Adidas branding in green. In terms of the laces, so when you buy this shoe, it actually comes with 5 different lace options. That's pretty unheard of, no pun intended, and it's great that everyone that buys this shoe is really able to customize it and make it their own by deciding on one of the 5 laces. So for me, my personal favorite were these cream or off-white colored laces. And you can see instead of the typical flat laces that the Adidas Rivalry usually comes with, Phil was able to infuse his skateboarding background and give us these oval shaped laces instead. So they come with these gold colored lace tips, which was a nice premium finish. Underneath this, so once again infusing that skateboarding feel on the shoe, instead of a thin tongue, the tongue on this pair is slightly padded, and it's covered in this red colored nylon with this blue piping on the edges. And running down the center, we have this thick orange leather tag, once again with the Adidas branding stitched on in green. The interior of the shoe is pretty well padded, and it's covered in this blue colored lining. And then as far as the insoles go, these come with your typical foamed line insole, However, the left foot and the right foot, they both feature unique and distinct custom artwork, so you can see these different bugs on both insoles, along with the Adidas branding on the heel. And I think all these bugs and the flies, it goes back to that central message in that something could be rotting from deep within, even if the exterior looks perfectly fine. So the upper of the Adidas Rivalry sits atop this solid rubber cupsole, which is painted in a combination of red on the top and white on the bottom. We have this contrast gold colored stitching, along with Adidas branding on the lateral side of the heel, and on the medial side, you'll see we have this exposed wedge of foam, which is that EVA foam that's found within this rubber cupsole. And then finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, this outsole is constructed out of rubber in a mix of brown, light blue, orange, and red. And we have Adidas branding right in the center, along with this intricate rock-like traction pattern that you can see on the forefoot and the bottom heel. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And for those wondering about sizing, my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. So I picked these up in a size 10, not knowing how a typical Adidas Rivalry would fit. So getting these in hand and trying them on, they actually fit a little bit more on the snug side. So I felt like the length of the shoe was fine. There was about a finger's width between the top of the shoe and the top of my toe. But the issue that I had in terms of the snugness of the shoe came around this toe box area right here, just above where the top lace is. So I could feel a little bit of pressure right at the base of my toes. But if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure that these will break in pretty nicely. Just looking at the materials, they seem pretty soft and they seem genuine in terms of leather and suede. So I'm going to give it some time, wear these in, and hope that the width of the toe box will give a little, because the overall length of the shoe I thought was fine. So if you have a narrow or normal width foot, true to size should be okay, but if you do have a really wide foot, you're probably better off going up a half size. Moving on to the comfort, so the Adidas Rivalry, at least for this specific version, I'd say that it's not the most comfortable shoe out there, even though you can feel a little bit of that squishiness, specifically underneath the heel. Aside from that though, it feels pretty firm. It definitely is more of a chunkier sneaker, and there's not too much give in terms of softness underfoot. But if you're someone that's used to retro 80s sneakers, and you're gonna be wearing these strictly for casual use, and I'm assuming you're not gonna be walking 25,000 steps in a day, I think this shoe will be perfectly fine. Last but not least, in terms of the overall quality and the craftsmanship. So first off, material quality I was very impressed with. For the price point of $165 USD, I thought that the material quality was really solid. Everything from the nice tumbled leathers to the shaggy suedes. To me at least, this really felt like a special elevated collaboration. But from a build and craftsmanship standpoint, my pair wasn't perfect. I don't know if I just got unlucky, but there were noticeable flaws, specifically around the midsole area. I thought the paint job wasn't the best, and there was a slight slit on the leather where this U-throw area is, this cream or off-white leather. So these are issues from the factory, and who knows, maybe I just got a particularly bad pair. So comment down below if you guys picked these up, how was the overall build and the craftsmanship on your specific pair? So with all that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet. I'll lace them up and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, like I said from the very beginning, this is such a touching and special way that Phil was able to honor his late sister. The fact that they were able to actually copy Erika's writing, feature it on the shoe itself, I thought it was really incredible. So this shoe obviously has a ton of meaning behind it. And from a design and colorway perspective, let's be honest, this is not the easiest shoe to pull off. It is very loud, very bold, and has a ton of colors slapped on top of it. So I can see why it's not going to be a shoe for everyone. And it's definitely not one of those hype beastie shoes that's going to be featured on a lot of people's lists for top sneakers of the year. And even just looking on YouTube, at the time that I'm recording this, I think I only see 2 videos about this shoe, which is honestly a bit of a shame considering the backstory and the meaning behind this shoe. But I'm not mad, I have this pair and I'm very happy to own this pair, but I am curious to know what you guys think. What are your overall thoughts on this unheard of Adidas Rivalry Erika's poem? Are you a fan of the design and the colorway? Do you think it's too loud, too bold, and not something that you could see yourself wearing? Whatever you think, drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts about this specific release. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, follow my Twitter account at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review and hopefully it helped you in some way, and I'll catch you guys all in my next review.